This is the face of someone who absolutely loves doing burpees. He loves them so much, he stupidly signed up for a Spartan race, which was a brilliant idea. Thankfully, we'll be able to observe his delightful, easy experience from a camera the size of a Triscuit. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Trent, and I'm a tech nerd who likes to explore new things, visit new places, and jump out of airplanes. On this channel, I'll be documenting my life's adventures while exploring the tech that I'm passionate about. So in this video, as you might have clicked on, I went for my first Spartan race, and it was absolutely insane. I'll be breaking this down into 4 parts. First part is why on earth would I sign up for a Spartan race? Second is how I prep for it. Third is the race itself, where I take the Insta360 Go Ultra with me from start to finish. And fourth is the results and how I felt afterwards and things that I could improve on, as well as my future with Spartan races. So for the first part, why on earth would I sign up for a Spartan race? Well, I am a weightlifter. I've been lifting for about 10 years. And just recently, I kind of just felt like my weightlifting wasn't really fulfilling me anymore, and I was getting kind of stale. So I was looking into functional fitness and HIIT workouts, seeing other things that I could do to adapt to my lifestyle. And so this is where I came across the Spartan race. I had some friends that had done it in the past. They all said really good things about it, so I started looking into it myself. So when I started doing my research, I saw that there were different Spartan races. The beginner ones seemed to be the Stadion and the Sprint. And based off the timing and location of where I'm at, I felt like the Stadion would be a really good starting point for me. I saw on the Spartan Race website that they had a 4-week plan that covers what's needed for the Stadion workouts. So when I took a look at it, I adjusted my workouts to this template, and I felt like it was actually very helpful. So I knew I needed to add a lot more cardio into my workouts. So I started with trying to get down a 5K, which it took me about a month to really get myself adjusted to running. I'm actually really bad at running in general, but I was able to get some new shoes that worked for me, started training slowly. Didn't go 0 to 100. I definitely started training where I'd run like, half a mile first, and then a mile, then 2 miles, and 3 miles. And eventually I did reach the 5K mark, so I felt very comfortable in that area. Another thing I started doing was the Stairmaster. It just makes sense that I would be going up and down a lot of bleachers from a stadium, so I definitely trained according to the guide, the intensity of the Stairmaster, and that helped significantly. As for weightlifting, I definitely felt like I needed to include more back workouts and focus more in that area, as I noticed that there's a lot of climbing and rope climbs and a lot of pull type of movements. I still trained for the other parts too, but it made the most sense to focus on back, so I'd hit that about like twice a week. So for race day, one of the most important things that I got from online forums was that it was very important to get there early, and it's so true. You have no idea what's unexpected, such as traffic, long lines getting into the parking lot, long lines trying to get into registration, the bag check, security check, all kinds of things, figuring out where you need to be. So I would recommend getting there an hour and a half early before your start time. This just gives you that cushion just in case if something happens unexpectedly and it just delays you, and you just don't want to get to the race without being able to warm up, get prepared, and feel ready for the start of the race. Good morning. So I am starting to get ready for the Spartan race. Still not really nervous, surprisingly. I'm just, can't wait to actually see what happens. So I'm gonna start making breakfast really quick, and then I'm gonna start packing, and I'll show you guys like what that looks like, the things that I'm gonna bring, and how I'm prepping for the Spartan race. But before we do that, I have a little ritual that I need to do first. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, my baby. I know you're so much. I know you're so much. Oh, no, good. Alright, so I'm kind of lazy. I don't feel like actually cooking. But what I'll do is I'm gonna heat up a protein waffle. Got one of these. I only have one, which kind of sucks. I really wanted 2. But to supplement that, I'm gonna have some of these, some cinnamon protein Cheerios, and then I think I'm gonna have a Greek yogurt, and then on top of that, I will go with some coffee. definitely want the coffee for a little bit of some energy, but I also just don't want to have to take care of business when I am at the race, like, or I'm in the race. That sounds awful. So I'm gonna drink some coffee, and then yeah, and then I'll start getting prepared and packing for the race. Surprisingly, I ordered some accessories for the Insta360 Go Ultra, and I wasn't expecting them to come in by the time of this race, so I was coming up with other ideas on like how I'm gonna run with the camera attached to me. But surprisingly, just a few minutes ago, this package arrived, and I have all of these accessories that I'm going to try out today. Hopefully this will make the run easier with running with a camera, not the actual race, but I just was worried about how I was gonna run with this thing. All right, we're getting ready to go. I'm about to take off. I'm gonna head down to Anaheim, and we're gonna get this race going. So these are the things that I'm actually bringing with me. I got a protein bar here just to refuel. I've got some accessories for this DJI Pocket that I'm talking off of right now. Then I got a spare change of clothes with a hat, because I'm sure my hair is gonna look crazy afterwards. Here's some Insta360 Go Ultra stuff that I'm having with me. So this is gonna be a selfie stick I'm bringing. I've got the official like Go Ultra strap for a headband. This is the tiny camera I'm taking. It's absolutely incredible. I'm gonna be able to get some cool shots of the race with it. And then this accessory, which just came in today, which is the Ring remote. So I just wear it like that, and I'll click the button, and it'll record, and I click it again, and it'll stop. I got a towel with the bag that I'm gonna bring everything in, and then I have my big water bottle. Also, I have my Hokas here, and then in here is a spare change of shoes afterwards, because I expect these to get extra dirty. All right, as I mentioned earlier, it was like really crucial to leave early because we did run into some traffic on the way. Thankfully, that cleared up. I was surprised that there was a $20 fee, given that this wasn't for the game and it was for the race. Really glad I brought the sunscreen out here. It was so hot, and I definitely would have burned if I didn't have any. And then we got our camera headband on for the race.
Signature on the screen. Touch screen.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Have fun.
Yeah. Got our wristbands and off to start for the race.
I'm gonna send you guys out like Spartan warriors. When I ask you what is your profession, I want to hear a roof. Spartans, what is your profession? Let's go! Have a great race, y'all.
And off we go. Look at me all frolicking and dandy, having no idea what I'm about to get myself into.
So many memories here at the 2025 Angel Stadium.
Here we reach our first obstacle. I actually had to remember how to use a jump rope. I totally tripped on my first attempt. And then this was the second obstacle, which was a pretty easy, climb. Nothing too hard. This was the first water station of the race. I was starting to realize that I did not drink enough water before the race.
Oh my god.
I regret everything. I can't recall if these counted as an obstacle, but there were a lot of them. I had learned that it was easier to keep switching legs per dip.
Oh my god. At least I have a small advantage that I'm short, so these are a lot easier to go under.
After a few levels of this, I started to really slow down here. I was really feeling all of these dips, and my legs were just so sore after all the bleachers. And of course, more bleachers. Bleachers. They had us doing so many bleachers, and I was so exhausted at this point. I started walking a lot of these and tried to get some of my energy back. But we did eventually complete this, and then we started to get to the next obstacle, which was probably the hardest out of all of them. And we reached the sandbag carry. I think those sandbags were about 60 pounds, and as everyone else was doing, it was recommended to carry it on one of your shoulders, but obviously the distribution of the weight there made it really difficult, so I had to keep switching sides. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to complete this one because I was so dehydrated at this point and so tired. This was the final stretch here, and there were a couple people who could not continue bringing the sandbag carry up. I was contemplating also stopping because I was feeling like fainting here. I was so dehydrated and the sun was just so hot. And this was the finish part. You just drop off the sandbag here. I was really hoping there was water at the end, otherwise I felt like I wasn't going to be able to continue. Thankfully there was water though. Then this followed with ball slams. We had to slam 15 times. Ignore my big nose. This is when I realized I needed to refill on as much water as I possibly could. I knew that if we were going to do any more outdoor exercises, I was going to just dehydrate more, so I drank a ton of water.
I am absolutely dying right now. This is so much harder than I thought it would be. I'm gonna finish, but damn, so I feel like I was getting really weak there. The sandbag is definitely the one that got me. That one's definitely the hardest right now, but I've got a lot more obstacles to go, so let's do it.
And then this was the first time the race took us outside of the stadium into the parking lot. I had no idea how big this actually was, and so there was so much more to run, as well as additional obstacles. This one was my first failed obstacle. It was one that I thought I would do completely fine on, and just was not expecting the issue that I was having, which was how slippery the bars were already. So then I got to experience my favorite exercise, burpees. Woo!
That was so much harder. I think I'm gonna stop by a restroom and wash my hands because there's no way with how much slime I have on my hands I could do that.
This was the next obstacle, which was kind of like a break from all the other obstacles. It was basically just push-ups, but you had to lay completely on the ground and release all tension from your chest and back and then push back up. But this was very easy for me to do.
You know, I don't know if I've been to the Angel Stadium, which is hilarious because I grew up in Anaheim.
So this exercise was actually pretty easy in terms of what you have to do, but it was the most unpleasant because that ground was scorching hot. It was awful on the hands. It took me 2 days to recover from the burns.
That was way too hot. That probably actually burned.
Then we were back outside the stadium, more obstacles to come across. This one was called the Hercules hoist. Hercules!
This thing is just pull?
Yes, you just pull it all the way up to the top, and once you get to the top, you just release it down slowly, or else you do burpees. You got this.
Oh, that's easy.
We're nice. Nice and slow, just like that. You did it!
There we go.
Easy, you did it.
Thank you.
Then we had the rope climb, and this one was very easy for me, but I didn't use any leg techniques. I just pulled with my back.
Well, we definitely didn't do the rope technique where you're supposed to use your legs. See up there? I just don't have any energy to try that right now.
And then we have the Atlas carry. This one was actually like a medium difficulty for me. It was a 100-pound ball that you have to pretty much deadlift and then carry it across to the line over there and then carry it back.
I know we're at least halfway, I hope. But I'm pretty sure it's not much more after this. We are at 1 hour and 2 minutes so far.
I missed the obstacle here to record. It was another wooden wall. It was the highest one out of all of them, but I was able to get over it pretty easy. And here was my second failed obstacle. It's called the multi-rig. It's just like the monkey bars, but also the same problems. All of those rings were just like very slimy and slippery. However, I did get really close. It's just I could not hold on for those last ones. But that's okay because I got to do more burpees. Woo!
I hate burpees.
And because I love burpees so much, they coincidentally put the next obstacle that I failed at, which was the spear throw. I had no idea how to prepare for this one and I heard about it, but I gave it my best shot and I honestly got pretty close.
Very close, very close. Okay. Burpees?
More burpees. Woo! Fun! Ugh. Then we came across the Z-wall obstacle. This one was actually pretty easy. It's just, you know, for me, I just wanted to take my time making sure I didn't like lose my grip or step anywhere. But overall, this one was pretty easy. Here we're coming up on our last obstacle outside of the stadium. This one was pretty high, but for me it was fine. I just think people who are afraid of heights would, you know, have a bit of a problem. But if you lost your footing or anything, you wouldn't actually fall through. It would catch you.
Okay, back into the Angel Stadium.
So then we're back in for the final 3 obstacles. These ones are pretty easy. There were just smaller walls to climb over. But then we came across the jump boxes, and these were actually really hard to do after all the obstacles we had already done.
The higher one? Don't you see I have a height deficiency?
I'm short too.
So you should be on my side. Damn, that made my calves like go, ah!
You got the POV shot.
Thankfully, after that first rep, I was able to do the rest of these pretty easily, but then had to move on to my favorite exercise ever.
Last one. They leave the hardest for last.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Challenge yourself.
Because they knew how much I love burpees, they turned them into weighted burpees. This was honestly so difficult to do at this point. I was feeling extremely dehydrated, and if I had some water, I could have done much better at these, but I had to stop a couple times before continuing.
Come on. Woo! That. That was a f***ing nightmare. That was f***ing awful.
I was obviously lying here because I definitely love burpees.
Here we go.
And we finally reached the end.
Jump low.
Thank you. Congratulations. Way to go.
Thanks, guys.
Finish, right?
I did. Please tell me they have electrolytes. Whew.
We ended up getting about 1 hour and 25 minutes.
Do you guys have water? I'm dying, dude. Thank you. Can I crash here next to you? I'm gonna die otherwise.
They were kind enough to give me a 6-pack of those waters. I was so happy to have water finally. I absolutely destroyed that first can.
Definitely was a good experience. I'm actually really glad I signed up for this. Like, I think 15-minute mark, that's when I was like, okay, slow it down or you're gonna probably make yourself puke.
This is where I'm so glad I brought extra clothes to change into. My tank was soaked. And we were finished finally, and I was so happy.
Okay, so here's the post-race feeling right now. I'm finally rehydrated. I feel like I can actually talk now. I'm glad that I decided to sign up for it and just go by myself, get a full experience, set a baseline for myself. I did get under an hour and 30. I think I got around an hour and 20-ish, 22-ish minutes. I think I'll find out later in the future. It was very challenging. I think the obstacles are actually really fun. Although that javelin thing, I don't know how I'm going to prepare for that if I ever do it again. Now that I understand the challenge,
there's a lot of stuff that I could prepare for that I could make me do better. So for example, for sure, I should be doing a lot more Stairmaster stuff, or a lot of hiking, or a lot of running uphill, because going up and down the bleachers is totally a killer to start with. I think that was probably the hardest part, because once you start doing obstacles, you're already so winded and so exhausted. I got to a point in my run where my legs were shaking, right? I was literally just standing there trying to get myself prepared to do the obstacle, and I was shaking. I do think part of it too is I need to do more functional fitness and HIIT type of workouts. Something where I'm running and then doing an exercise, and then running and then doing another exercise. That kind of dynamic, since the obstacles kind of function that way. The best thing that I wouldn't say I'm super surprised, but that I did super well on was back movements. Things that I had to climb over were like no problem at all. When I was a little concerned, maybe like something was too high and I wasn't gonna be able to pull myself up. But as long as, you know, you practice like pull-ups, you'll be able to do those. One of the hardest parts that I actually think I didn't like, because I don't know how you would really solve this, is the monkey bar type of stuff. Those obstacles are so slimy. Like, there's so many people that ran through it, and you can't keep a grip on your hands. Maybe if you go first in the morning before everyone does the obstacle, you could probably then do it a lot easier, and it could be the exercise that it was supposed to be. The rope climb, I've never climbed a rope with using like a technique with my legs before. So I decided just to completely engage my back, which I had no problem doing. One of the girls, I overheard her, she's like, oh, he's using all his back. He's not even using legs. There's some chest related stuff. I mean, we did some of these like push-ups and stuff. And I mean, climbing over the walls requires you to push yourself too. So like that helps. But I think back was more important in this race. And then just endurance, right? Like being able to run and do these things for a long time, and then go straight into another obstacle and then continue to run. I mean, I'm actually really excited to do another. I mean, I'm pretty exhausted and I feel it, but it feels really good to be able to prove to myself that I'm able to complete a race like this. I'm very impressed with how long the Insta360 Go Ultra lasted. I was actually really worried about over recording too much, and that maybe I wouldn't be able to record the whole thing and it would die by the end. I do think the camera itself, when it's out of its pod, I don't think that would have lasted, because there were a lot of times where that was showing a lower battery. Me running with the selfie stick and having the pod with me, that was actually came in pretty clutch, because it was necessary to complete this race, at least with my time, right? I think if I was really good at doing this race and I pushed myself and I could do it for under like 40 minutes, maybe I could push through with just the pod, or just the camera itself without the pod. Thanks for joining me during this race though. I mean, I definitely want to do this again. I feel like I would want to engage other people who I know and maybe build a team. I know they promote that a lot. So I could see my next race being with someone and convincing one of my friends to suffer with me, you know? So, but yeah, thanks for joining me. Well, hi. I got a special guest here. Hello. So the end result, I ended up getting this medal. It's actually pretty cool. I also got this pretty cool t-shirt. I ended up buying this hat too, because I really liked it and I wanted something that I could wear more often. Overall, I'm actually so pleased to have done the Spartan Race. It pushed me to all of my limits with all of the strength training I've done over the past 10 years, as well as the training that I have recently prepped with. And it just made me want to do even more races. So what are my future plans with the Spartan Race? I have already looked at what's coming up next year. I'm very interested in achieving the trifecta with the medals. And I had a lot of people who reached out and they seemed very interested in this experience. So I am hoping to build a team for the next Stadion to get more people involved and introduced to the Spartan Race. And I love the idea of people being able to experience the same thing I felt getting through my first race and really testing the type of training that I've done in my past. I'm excited to build workouts for all of us to try out, especially around the experience I now have and what it would take to get prepared for the next race. But I also want to chase the next Spartan races with the trifecta on my own. I feel like now that I've accomplished this goal of doing my first Spartan race, it's just very thrilling and exciting to be able to look forward to the next races and how difficult they get, so I can push my limits and see how I do. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a really great time making it with this like very tiny camera. This thing was actually very helpful, and I'm just so surprised it lasted as long as it did to get through the whole race with me. It was really fun being able to share my first Spartan race with everyone, and hopefully this is motivating enough for you to try your first Spartan race, or if you've already done one before and this was entertaining for you to see what it's like for another first timer. But if you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to share with you my future adventures that are coming up. See you later.